Alrighty, special treat today with my new golf irons. We are going to do 36 holes in a row, 18 and then 18. The first course is called Eldon, and the second course is called Green Meadows Jungle Course. So, a lot to look forward to. I thought today was my best driving day that I've had in the garage. Whether that's anything to do with anything, I don't know. But here's the first shot with the new Ping ANSER irons, and it comes up a little short but gets a decent roll and safely out of there with an opening par. And again, a good drive. Backspin's going down, ball speed's going up, launch angle's going down and staying around, 14, 15. 9,000 spin with 95 ball speed. That's what we want to see out of it's probably a pitching wedge or 9-iron. So here we are hitting the first 4-iron of the day, and that's hole high, just a little to the right. So, loving the new irons so far. I think the shafts are stiffer than the clubs I was using, and that's getting the path of the club more in to out. Sometimes I can be quite out to in. Here we get an awesome bounce off of the cart path and into the fairway. What was a 3-wood turned out to be a 260-yard shot. 108 yards, almost 10,000 spins, so it's really liking these irons for how much they're ripping. Stay at a par there. We just missed a birdie. 5th hole, just hitting the driving iron thing out there. And that's given me good numbers too, 140, 33. And a really good roll out to 263. 80 yards left only. And that goes a little far. So, stays on the par train, which is never bad, but missing a couple birdie opportunities. Like, look at these numbers down in the right. Yeah, it's a little short, but 0, 0, 0, 0 for path, face control. 4.4 attack angle is pretty shallow for me, so getting really good numbers out of those Ping ANSER irons, and I couldn't be happier that after a few years I've finally found something that I like. Here's where the round score happens. Invisible branch knocks it down. Fine. Next shot. I look like I'm pretty clear. There's a branch apparently right in front of me, and 2 feet off the ground. So, not sure what's going on there, but now I'm hitting my 5th shot on a par 5, and trying to get it close to the green is not happening. And so I end up into a bunker, hitting my 6th shot right now. So making this is a bogey, but I'm not going to be able to do that, and it stays outside the 1-putt zone. So that's a triple bogey, and the par streak's over, and the triple bogey comes into play. And I try to take it out on this drive. And couldn't ask for better there. Downhill drive on a shorter par 4, leaving me 94 yards left. This one's left from the beginning, but yardage was pretty good. And face control was just a little left. Another short par 4 here on the 9th. Trying to get a birdie back from that triple, leaving myself about 80 yards in. This one looks pretty good off the face, and it nestles up next to the hole for a birdie. We end the front 9 at +2. Remember, we're going all 36 in a row here, so 161 yards. That was not a good strike. and we come up a little short in the bunker left. Trying to chip in and not even close from the sand, and so we give the birdie right back. Bogey +3, going to 11. Another good drive. I'll say it again, I felt like the driving on this 36 round venture was my best ever as far as confidence and where it's going. And that one right there, another birdie, getting it back to +2. So staying in there here at Eldon Golf Club. Another good drive. Backspins down. Trying to get that thing into the 2000s. We got to get the attack angle a little better. Here I find a tree, and we go 144 remaining, about 15 yards up the hill though. And that goes a few yards too long for a birdie, but an easy par. Here I'm trying to cut the corner on a dogleg left, short par 4, 13th. But I almost go out of bounds, and we're way over here on the right. I think I might as well just hit kind of like a under the branch run, and it almost goes out okay. Here's the shot of the day. 5 iron, 15 degrees to the left swing, and just rolls it in perfect to save par there. Go to the 14th hole now. Still hitting the ball good off the tee. Whether it's this Titleist 3-wood that I like to use, or the full driver, both of them seem to be right where I need them to be on this first round of our 36-hole venture here. Eldon Golf Club treating me good so far. The pin locations on Thursday, I believe, is the pin locations I picked are very reasonable. They're all like in the middle of the green, give you a chance. Here was a definite toey type pull. That was like the first swing that I hit poorly with the ping irons that I've been using today. That's going to be a bogey as well, doesn't quite get there, and we go to +3. 16th hole, this one shapes perfectly for my drive. Just start it right in the middle and let it fade with the course. We find that just into the rough, but 222 away, and try to hit some sort of a big bender, but it straightens out and just hangs out left and ends up being almost perfect distance, but just a little bit, well, not a little bit, like 30 yards left, because it never came back. Here we blow by the birdie circle and have to settle for a par on 16 after being 30 yards away. 17, kind of turn that one over right away from the beginning, get a good bounce off the fringe, and we're going to call that one good as a par as well. And we're going to 18. Now, if you've been watching the channel, my 18th holes have been pretty bad lately. I get some sort of mental block, and like the round's almost over, I can do it. So right on cue, we drive it way left. Luckily it's a par 5, so 206 then to 121, and I'm just trying to get this guy right at the pin, but it comes out right. It luckily goes through this tree, 90% air, remember, and we take a par there on 18. We go 37, 37, 74 total, with 2 birdies, 2 bogeys, and a double, or no, a triple. Oh my gosh. So a short break in between as Green Meadow Jungle gets loaded for the first time on Gspro, and we are ready to go for our 19th hole of the day. And the pretty good driving is continuing. 146, 3,000 backspin. We're getting that lower. Launch angle 16. Up the hill 116 yards here. Starts dead on. And just goes a little long, and it catches the fringe, forcing me to chip. And this thing's all downhill all the way, catches the downslope, runs out of the par circle and into an opening bogey. So +1 on the second 18 here. Green Meadow Jungle Course. Can't say enough about this one. I love when the intermediate rough and rough is nice and defined. We have a bunch of little elevation changes. The greens are pretty unique as well, with this intermediate fringe around some of these bean-shaped things. We rolled just out of the par circle and are forced to take our second bogey of the day. First par 5 of the day on the third. The good drives are continuing, leaving ourselves 213 left. Starts right at it, but it's peeling right, and it's going to be a little short, and finds this bunker on the right side. Not the best tactic there, but short enough to roll on. We're going to have to settle for a par after being 20 yards away from getting a birdie into that one-putt circle. 157 downhill. Perfect distance, just a little bit left. And that one's going to be a par. We'll stay at +2, +5 total for the whole day. Here we barely hit it. That's the very, very bottom of the driver. We do end up getting 4.5 degree launch angle and 2,500 spin. So some numbers that I've been just imagining if you can do on here, I was able to pull off by mishitting it completely. Again, hole high, but just a little to the right. And trying to will that one into the circle to save par, and we are able to. So we go to the 6th, 402 yard par 4. Love that ball flight. .142 remaining. Accessible pin location here. And just safely on the green for a 2-putt par. Both of these courses that I played back to back they weren't like super easy, you know, short par 4 courses. These tight driving holes, lots of trees, and I was pretty pumped at the way I was able to start each hole off with something manageable. And on the first course, that 7th hole was just a disaster, and not necessarily something I blame myself for. I couldn't see the branch that it hit. Here we save par after going way over on our second shot. Long par 3, 193. This one, I've never gotten 133 out of that club ever, so I'm not sure what happened there, but it goes about 40 yards farther than I usually hit it, and I'm forced to chip back towards the green, and I put way too much loft on it, snag a tree branch, go for the pin there and blow it right by, and gonna have to take a double bogey on the 8th hole. So +4 going to the 9th hole. It's like the fairway has a little tiny cutout just for me. 221, 10 yards up the hill, just trying to hit something smooth right at it. And it basically lands next to the eagle circle and safely remains into the birdie 2-putt zone on that par 5. and we'll stay at +3. This is the only drive that kind of got away from me. Went a little bit to the right, and now I'm looking at a going over a tree here. I think I snagged maybe a branch or two, and it slows it down, or I didn't give it enough out of the rough. But either way, short and chipping to try and save par, and safely do. So remaining at +3, going to the 11th hole, 132. Numbers look okay. It's a little right and a little long, but safely in the auto 2-putt. And we'll go on to the 12th hole, staying at +3. Here, just trying to cut the corner with a big swooper, and overcooked it just a little bit. Still have a shot at the hole, 113. Trying to hit a draw and just kind of left the face open. Safely in the 2-putt zone for another par though. Some solid golf here, going quickly. Another drive that takes off dead straight, low 3000s. Ball speed getting closer to 150. We're gonna work on that someday. This one looks good off the start, and it thankfully misses the bunker, but it stays in the rough. Par 5, 42 yards remaining, trying to stick this close for an easy birdie and just go right over the pin. Unfortunately, taking another par there, not taking advantage of the par 5s here at Green Meadow, the jungle course, one of the new courses. Both of these are pretty brand new for Gspro. Once they'll hit the channel, they'll have been out a few days. Another good drive on 14, 134 remaining. Like those numbers, it's a little short, and it's going to hang up in the just short of the green, forcing a little chip here, trying to stay in that circle, and it does. Another par, going to 15 now. Short par 4, sorry, and some bunkers everywhere. So I just decided to give it a whack, take that first bunker out of play, and another decent drive for me. .104 up the hill, couple yards. I needed one more bounce, and that might have gone in. So playing some good golf, just missing out on a few opportunities here in this round to get that score back to even or even lower. Here another one just a little long and a little right, which seems to be, if I have a miss with these newer irons that I'm hitting, it's going to be long and right. So I'm going to start compensating for that, and maybe starting a little more face closed so that those get online and shut down the angle just a little more. Here we almost get another birdie with a good bounce, but we'll take a par on 17. This is a nightmare drive for me, usually trying to not fade it, but I did a pretty good job of keeping it on a straight line or even drawing, and we leave 250 left up the hill. I decided just to lay up. I desperately want to get a birdie here, so it's an up the hill, 5 yards, playing about 75, and I hit it 90. So not going to happen unless we chip this in, but now need to secure a par to have a good round and have 2 back-to-back good rounds where I felt good about almost every swing, every drive, every iron shot except for a couple. We do 75, and I believe we got 75 on the first round too, so +4, +3, really like one bad hole on the front and one on the back, so you know what to do.